Now what is up, my fellow prod-coders? Welcome to this video, and today we will start working on our navbar. So this will be this red bar at the top. Right now we already have our landing page and our search component. Now our search component isn't doing much, it's just displaying this text, and we want to start with the first child component, and this will be this navigation bar. So let's get started. Should be fairly straightforward. Let's go to source. Let's create a new folder and let's call it navbar. And inside this folder, we will say navbar.js. Oops, navbar.js. And we will also say navbar.module.css. And in here, we will just create an empty React component. So import React from React. And then export function navbar, no props currently, return, let's return a div, and that's it. Okay, so right now we are not doing anything with our navbar. We need to display it inside the search component. So let's just delete this text and let's say navbar. Cool, nice. So right now, we display our navbar, and since our navbar contains an empty div, we see nothing. Okay, now as far as the top bar is concerned, this is just a pretty simple flex container basically. So we have a horizontal layout, and all we need to do is we need to put logo and the navbar and two buttons in here. So let's get started. Let's go back and let's start with our image. So we already loaded our logo in our landing page. You can just import it like a normal component. So you can say import logo from, and then one up in assets, and then logo.png. And then we can display our logo. We can say image source equals logo, then alt equals help logo. Remember that otherwise it's yelling at us and displaying a warning. And yeah, let's just do it like this. Okay, so we now have the logo, and theoretically, yes, we see our logo over here. Now apparently this logo is way too big, so we need to size it properly, and we also want to have this red background over here. And this is a good opportunity to get started with our CSS. So if we go back and we can order, and let's start with the CSS first. So we will just say dot logo. Let's just give it a width of 75 pixels, okay? And apart from that, what else do we need? Well, let's create another class. We call it navbar. And here we will say display flex. Okay. And we need to apply these classes over here. So we will say import styles from navbar.module.css. And then in here we are going to assign the correct class. So we will say class name equals styles and then navbar. And in here we will say class name equals and then styles.logo. And one thing that might also be interesting, like let's just display a background color, okay, so that we know where our container starts and where it ends. So this is somehow like some reddish background color. So I found that out by just going to the inspector and inspecting the element. And this is the hex code that it gave me. So let's go back to our page, and yes. So we see we have something red and we have the logo. But yeah, it kind of looks off because there's just not enough space. It looks like super, looks somehow squashed or something. So let's say padding, 1 rem, 0. And remember, this is a shortcut for padding top 1 rem and padding bottom 1 rem, and the rest 0. Okay, so that should look a little bit better. Okay, nice. Now the next thing we can do is we can add our search bar. And fortunately, we already have our search bar, so we don't need to build it out. We can just say search bar. Okay, and yes, this is how it looks. It still looks a little bit big, like we will take care of that in a second, but let's just add the other 2 buttons first. So let's go back and let's just add these 2 buttons. Let's just say button, and we say class name equals button. So this is a Bulma class, by the way, so it will give it like proper styling so that it looks nice. And the text will be sign in, and we can copy that. We can paste it on here. But here we want register. Okay, so now the issue will be that yes, it doesn't have proper spacing and it's not vertically aligned. Okay, let's take care of that. In order to vertically align all elements inside a horizontal flex container, we can just say align items center. And for as far as the button is concerned, let's give it like a class. Let's just say nav button. And one thing, like this is the Bulma class, so we don't want our file to attach any, or our CSS modules to attach any prefixes or suffixes. Suffixes, yes. So we need to go back in here and let's just say global. So that means please don't change anything here. Button. And then we say nav button. And then let's give it a margin left of 1 rem. And we go back in here. We make this, put this here in backticks. Oops. And over like this. And then we use string interpolation and we say styles. And then nav button. And now our CSS rule should kick in. So let's copy this first. Put it here. And we should have a little bit of spacing. Yes, pretty nice. And you also see it's vertically aligned. But the search bar, yeah, it kind of looks off. Like it's just too big. And the reason is that, remember, we set this is medium class for all these elements in here. So that's why it appears bigger. And we probably want to configure it so that we can also, so that this is medium class is somehow optional, or that we can tell the search bar, hey search bar, please like render in a small way, or like there's a small option. And if we pass this option, it's going to omit this is medium class, and it's just going to display the forms that it displays per default. So that would be the next step. But I already see we are almost reaching 10 minutes for this video. So let's just finish this off right here. And let's just continue in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And please also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.